Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with my friend Mia Murray. Mia is a pastor, and she is also a regional portfolio manager dealing in real estate and multifamily. So, welcome, first of all, just welcome to the show, Mia.
Thank you so very much. I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, so it's so good, man. Gosh, there were when me and you met Sam Peely. So shout out to Sam Peely who introduced us, and
My
we
dear
got to
friend
hang out at a
Sam.
coffee shop all together. And we just had church. We
We did, right there, right
we
there.
had church just right in the middle of the coffee shop.
We sure
Just
did.
like
Within like 2 minutes of meeting each other.
I
Like
know, it was like heaven come down.
that's right,
I
revival.
was like, oh, this
In
is
a
my type of
coffee
lady right
shop.
there. So such a good time. So I asked you the question. I love asking this question before we go on camera. What's one thing you'd want people to know about you if they could know nothing else? And you said you are here to help people prosper. So that's a big part of why you exist. And especially you called it your mountain that you tend or your mountain that you
It's the
deal
mountain
with.
I'm assigned to.
The
That's right.
mountain you're assigned to
That's
is
right.
specifically finance, generational wealth, and not just generational wealth in terms of money, but in terms of mindset.
That's right. Changing the
Uh,
mindsets of God's people.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
can you tell us a little bit more about how that became a passion for you?
Absolutely. So I was raised in the church, but even as a young child, I just noticed there were some things that were I felt like there were some things that were missing. Like there were things that were not connecting for me. Like we call him Jehovah Jireh, and he's our provider, but the things were not connecting. And so when I was very young, I think I was like in about 15 or 16, I remember saying in my mind, when I turn 30, I'm going to gain a level of wisdom. And I want this wisdom. And I started praying, like when I was like 15, 16 years old, for this wisdom to come down from heaven. And I had this theory in my mind, like Jesus Christ was on the earth, and right when he was 30 years old, he started going out and doing his mission. And that's just at the time. And in Hebrew thinking, 30 is that time when you start to have that new revelation of knowledge. And I just wanted that for myself. So I said, when I turned 30, I wanted wisdom. And I remember praying to the Lord. I said, Lord, you said that you were not going to give anyone wisdom the way that you gave it to Solomon, but you never said anything about understanding. So I'm asking for a level of understanding like no man has ever seen before.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I feel in that moment I just started to really see in a
Yeah.
different way,
Yeah.
and that was the beginning of my journey.
Wow. So then baked underneath that, tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Father, because I can see
Absolutely.
like for you to have that boldness to go to your Father and be like, well, you said this about wisdom, but you didn't say it about understanding. So I'm gonna go ahead and just ask
I'm gonna go
a
out here. What can
huge
you say? I
right.
mean, you
Yeah.
could tell me later, but the Bible says his answer is yes and amen. So I came to the Lord very early. I was in the military very young. I joined the military at 17. Got out of the military, and I had two children at the time. I lived here in Colorado Springs, and I remember I was in a place in my life where I thought I was losing my mind. Now we would probably call it something like postpartum or something to that effect, but I thought I was losing my mind. And I remember saying, if you do not help me, I am leaving this place. I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. And a still small voice just told me to hold on, and I remember the Lord saying to me, I love you. He said, I loved you. I love you. And so I went to church that Sunday, and I dedicated my life to the Lord. I was 22 years old, and I just said, when I was out here in the world, I did it for the movies. I did it all. Like I did it everything. I did it full throttle, and I said I was going to be full throttle for the Lord. And anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing with all your strength. Love the Lord with all your heart, your mind, and your strength. And I did. I hit the ground running, and I decided that I wanted to be in every part of every ministry and be a part of every group and go to every Bible study. And I did for 7 days a week for 7 or 8 years straight. I did nothing but found myself in the house of the Lord. And I went from and I didn't travel from house to house necessarily, like, but I went where I was assigned. I remember since the Lord had was speaking to me since a very young age, I could always hear the voice of the Lord, and didn't understand that it's a gifting. There was actually it's a gift that my mother has and her mother's mother. You know, we all have that same gifting. And my dad's side of the family also has a gifting. They're seers, and they can see. They have good visions and good dreams, and they can hear from the Lord. So I grew up kind of in that atmosphere where it was just expected for us to hear from the Lord. Like wasn't something that I had to learn. It was just
Yeah.
something that I knew. I knew that I could hear from the Lord. I was speaking to Him at a very early age. But when I was in my 20s, that's when I really started to obey the voice of the Lord. And there is a huge difference, right? And so I started to obey, and I found that as I obeyed, I was, like the Bible says, eating the good of the land. The good things were happening to me. Now, just like every baby Christian on the planet, when I first came into Christ, I felt like I was being attacked on every side, right? And the Lord gave me an illustration, and He said to me, He was talking to me about instruction. And He said, if I sent you, for instance, on I-25, and the Lord talks to me in parables, so you'll have to excuse me. If I sent you on I-25 and I told you to go to Pueblo and you headed north from Colorado Springs, would you get there? And I was like, yeah, I would probably get there, but it would take me a little bit. I would have to turn around eventually,
Yeah.
right? Because Pueblo is south of Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And He
Yeah.
said, that's exactly right. So when I call you into the kingdom, you're driving north on I-25. To get to the promises that you're asking me for, you have to head towards Pueblo. You got to turn around. And
Yeah.
however far you've driven north, you have to drive that far south to get to the place that you need to be. So He gave me that understanding, like, there's some things you have to walk out here. There's some reaping and some sowing that you got to walk out before you get to the places of all these beautiful promises. Now, you're not going to be completely delayed, but there are some things you got to clean up first.
Yeah.
So went in with that understanding. So I never went into that place of why. You know, I understood that I needed to walk this out. There was some reaping and some sowing that
Man.
needed to be walked out. So
Man.
again, I'm in my 20s, and I am, like, headstrong for the Lord. I start joining every ministry, the prison ministry and the death row ministry, and nursing home, everything. Choir. I'm in every ministry known to man. I decide I'm going to go to seminary. I go to seminary, and I'm like 23, 24 at the time. And I'm assigned as an armor bearer for my leader for the first time. And when I am assigned as an armor bearer for my leader, I start to get more intimate knowledge with my pastor, right? Because now I am closer to leadership. I'm with all these other leaders. I'm 24, and these people are in their 60s and, older, and they have such wisdom.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, looking at their lives and saying, there's still something, there's still more. There's still more here. I could see the Lord moving in phenomenal ways, miracles all around me. But I felt like there's still more, because I remember the word saying, greater work shall you do. So I just kept saying, there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more. And even now, I'm always like, there's more, there's more, there's more. So I'm greedy I'm greedy. I'm zealous to see what the Lord wants to do in my life.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
what gave me the zeal to say, I want more.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us a story? You tell such good stories. I could, like,
So one of my
yeah.
favorite stories, I have so many stories, but one of my favorite stories, the one that comes to mind right now, I think I've told you this one before, but we were one time driving. I was driving on my way to, I think I was doing a fundraiser for the church. I was doing a fundraiser for the church, and it was about 2 hours away from my current location. This is in South Carolina. I was in Charleston. I was going to a place called Kingstree, South Carolina, and it is the country. You hear me? It's out there. There's nothing out there but nothing.
Yeah.
So I was driving out there. I was with
You're
myself.
you're college age at this point?
No, no, no. This is when I was 20. I was about 23 years old. I was driving my granddad's Buick. So my granddad's Buick, my three children in the back seat, and one of the ladies from the church was with me, and it was hot, and we did not have enough gas for AC. And in South Carolina, when I say hot, it's not like here. It's like you are sweating bullets.
Yep. Because humidity.
So we were sweating bullets, and it was hot, but I couldn't turn on the AC because I didn't have enough gas. And I remember praying to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I don't have enough gas to make this trip. But one thing about me, I have to go back to say, if I say I'm going to do it, then I feel like I need to do it because the Bible says, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. So if I say I'm going to do it, if it's an inconvenience to me, that's because I didn't prepare, right? It's not so that I can make inconveniences for everyone else. So I said I was going to go to this event. I was going to make it there. Even if I was there for the last 30 minutes, I was going to make it. So I said, I'm going to go to this event. And I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, you're releasing me to go. And he said, yeah, go. So I get on the road, and I know I don't have enough gas. And I told the lady I was with, the young lady I was with, I said, I don't have enough gas to get here. But we're going to go out here, and we're going to see what the Lord's going to do. So we start driving. We get to where there is not a thing. The car starts sputtering, and we get to the side of the road. Again, it's hot, like 90, almost 100 degrees. And we're in this old blue Buick. And we're in there sweating bullets, and I start giggling. I'm like, well, Lord, I did what you told me to do. I don't know what you want me to do next. And the woman next to me, she says, have mercy. She was like, have mercy, and kind of fanning herself. And I just had this idea in my mind to yell to the heavens. It was a beautiful, clear day, and I wound my window down, and I was like, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us. And the children took up the chant. They wound down their windows, and they started screaming, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us. And the woman that was next to me, she probably thought we were, but she rolled her window down, and she started saying, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us. Well, right about that time, again, we're on the side of the road. I can see miles ahead, and I can see miles behind me because I'm on a clear road.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, while I have my head out of the window, this truck comes around the corner. I'm like, where'd that truck come from? This truck comes around. He says, ladies, can I help you? I said, sir, I don't have any gas. He said, well, I have a 10-gallon gas can in my back of my truck. I said, sir, I don't have any money. I don't have any money, and I can't pay you. He said, I'm going to put this gas in your car, and you're going to follow me to the gas station, and I'm going to fill you up. So I was like, okay. So he put the 10 gallons of gas in my car, and then I followed him to the nearest gas station, which was nowhere near. It was when we were like driving for miles, driving for miles. We finally get to a gas station. He fills me up fills up my gas tank, and then he says, I was getting ready to cut my grass. I was getting ready to go cut my grass, and the Lord told me to come back around this way to come and look at something. He's going to check out some land. And I was like, the Lord sent you. Because there was no reason for him to drive down this road. Again, there's nothing on this road.
Yeah.
So I knew the Lord had sent him right at about the time we were singing, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us. This man comes out of nowhere and comes and fills up my car full of gas. And I'm telling you, that's not the first time or the second time or the last time the Lord has done something miraculous for me. He's just a miraculous God.
So what does that do for you? Like, because it's interesting. Like I look at how my faith has developed over the years, and there's moments like that I can point to, like moments where, I was out on a limb, and the Lord met me there, right? And then there's also moments where, I felt forsaken, or I felt abandoned, right?
Yes.
And so much of the walk the Christian walk is being able to have a view of the universe that allows you to endure both of those things faithfully.
Yes.
But what did those kind of things do? What have those kind of moments done for your faith? Like in
They
terms of
have made it so that I will tell you this, and my friends think I'm radical, and maybe I am, but if I find myself in a situation where I feel like the Lord didn't meet me there, or I'm disappointed for any reason, I'm encouraged like Job. Instead of saying, the Lord didn't meet me. I'm always looking at myself like, okay, I must not have been ready, or I must have, because his answer is always yes and amen, right? To me, his answer is yes. It
Yeah.
might be yes when you're ready,
Yeah.
yes when things pan out,
Yeah.
yes when everyone else
Yeah.
is prepared. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It might
Yeah.
be yes in a few months, yes if you really want that, but it's always yes. And so the Lord is, and I always tell people, I'm spoiled rotten. Even when things are not going to work out, sometimes He lets me have it anyway. And then I'm like, why did you let me have this? You knew I didn't want, this is not what I really wanted. But it is the Lord, He does that. He says, His answer is to us is always yes, even when it seems like the answer is no. So that's what it's done to my faith. It's given me the kind of belief that no matter what's in front of me, no matter what, faith is an instruction. It's instruction. Faith is an instruction. So if I didn't follow the instruction, or if I didn't hear the instruction properly, or if I am not prepared to receive whatever I'm asking for, the answer is still yes. I just have to keep working towards it. I have to
Right.
persist,
Right.
right?
Right.
You know,
Right.
if you are faithful and you endure to the end, because a lot of the times the things that we ask for, we think we want them, we think we need them, we think we desire them, and then the door closes and we're like, the door is closed, and we get offended, and then a window is open, and that window is taking us to the thing that we actually desire.
Now you can preach.
You
Thank
know what
you.
I'm saying? So
Yes.
like, whatever you're praying in your
Yes.
closet,
Yes.
whatever you're praying in your closet, the Lord heard your prayer. You thought it was going to be done this way, but he can see that it needs to be done this way. You see what I'm saying? You thought you needed to get, on Highway 24, and he's telling you, no, you need to be on Highway 25. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I said that the Lord always leads me from A to B, something simple. So for years and years and years, I couldn't dress myself. I didn't know how to dress for my body shape and blah, 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 blah. I didn't know how to dress. I dressed like an old hag. It's the truth. And I remember I said, Lord, can you teach me how to dress? I need your help.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put on, I don't know. I have all these things, and I have to kind of preface that. Let me go back. So when I moved to South Carolina, I had two outfits. Two. Because I kind of fled a bad situation. I moved to South Carolina. I had two outfits and one pair of shoes. One day, this woman walks up to me and she says, the Lord told me to give you the all the suits in my closet. So when she said that, in my mind, because again, I'm in my 20s, I'm thinking of a little, an apartment closet. She told me to come to her house. I came to her house. First of all, I should have known when I pulled in the parking lot that I was not dealing with a regular person. But I walked into this beautiful apartment, and it was
Wow.
really a condo. She owned the top level of a condo building. And so she walks into a room that is a closet. It was a room, a whole room.
Yeah.
And it was wrapped around, and the suits were in every single color I could even think of, like the rainbow. And she said, everything that's your size, you can have it. I was looking at this woman like, what? She said, everything that's your size, you can have it. So she starts pulling out racks and racks of clothes. I'm like, I can't even fit this in my little jalopy. I can't put this in my little Buick. I had to take several trips to her house to get all the clothes. So then
Wow.
again, I came with two outfits. Then fast forward, and I'm trying to get dressed, and I'm trying to go somewhere. Now, at this time, I'm going nowhere but church and work. So I don't have any clothes, but like church clothes and work clothes, I don't have any clothes. So I start to try to put my outfit, my wardrobe together, and I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I don't know. It's just a bunch of stuff. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Because I just don't know. And he would give me, again, we're seers. So the Bible says that when you lay down to rest, the Lord gives you the words to speak on the next day. So then I said, well, you're going to tell me what to wear tomorrow. I'm going to lay down. And when I get up, you're going to give me what to wear. And so that's what I did. Every morning I got up, I sat on the edge of my bed. I did not move. I would not move until he would show me what I'm wearing. Like, I don't know what to do. So then every morning he would show me an outfit or something like that. Well, sometimes he would show me an outfit that I knew wasn't in the closet. Like, I just wore that outfit, or it was in a cleaner's or something. And he would say, go to where that usually is. So I would go towards the area where that outfit or that jacket would normally be, and there would be something else sitting there, and he would say, wear that. Because again, the Lord can only speak to you according to your understanding. And so if I forgot there was something in the closet, he would remind me, he would talk to me in what I knew was in the closet, and he would still lead me to what I forgot was in the
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how he used to do it. He started off with the clothes. He did it when I go shopping for food. He does it when I take directions, when I want to do something in business, when I want to, whatever it is. Sometimes he'll lead me towards A to get to B. And so when I'm talking to other saints, a lot of times I'm saying to them, you need to be more open and you need to be more receptive and more open in your reception. Like the Lord sometimes will lead you some way that you feel is wrong. But if you are obedient, the Bible says, then you will not be made ashamed. You're going to see the fruit of the thing that you're hoping for, right? You just have to follow in the faith. You have to follow the instruction and persist in the instruction until the evidence of the thing that you're hoping for shows up. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's what that basically means. You need to persist in that until you see the things show up. And a lot of times that's through habits. A lot of times it's through, just following the instruction that you do know, because he will meet you where you are, right?
Walking in the light that you have. And I think even going back to some of what you were saying earlier, we don't necessarily even know what we want. I think that was a very important thing that you said. We ask the Lord for a lot of things, right? We say, Lord, I want this, I want that Cadillac, I want whatever. And a lot of times we're asking for what we think we want or what we should want. But scripture that's really helped me with that is delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart, right? Delight yourself in the Lord. And now he's giving this beautiful framework for approaching even my own desire, right? Because I can't even know my own desire unless I can come into a place of delight with my Father. And in the place of delight with my Father, right, where he's with me and I'm with him, and I know that I'm held, and I know that I'm loved, and I know, right, that I'm his child, and I'm delighting in him, right? Then I can actually begin to understand what it is that I actually want, right? Because the greatest gift that we've been given, apart from anything I could even ask for, has already been given, which is the very presence of God.
That's
Christ
right.
in you, the hope of glory. That's been given to you already.
Free.
God gave you the $1 billion prize.
Yes,
Everything
he did.
you're asking him for after that is just pennies because you already got that, right?
Yes.
And so then it becomes instructive, like, okay, well, how do I hear the Lord, right? And what if I hear something wacky, and which happens, right? We can hear things that are not the Lord. So that's why we have the Word, and that's why we have counsel. But we don't receive the Word and counsel to the exclusion of walking in the Spirit.
That's right.
Because that also is me engaging in my father-son or father-daughter relationship.
That's correct.
With God. He wants to be that close with me.
Yes,
right?
He does.
Like even hearing you, like give me an example. Like, how do you talk to your dad? Like when you're talking to the Lord.
I just talk. Oh, it's so funny. I'm a brat, so I always I'm like I say Father, and I just call out to him like. I like Father. So, for instance, this is something that a lot of my friends will also say. When I get to a parking lot, when I get to any parking lot anywhere, and Sam could tell you this, he could test this. If I get to a parking lot, I say, Father, I made it. Thank you, I'm here. Now somebody's leaving, right? Because I made it. And sure enough, somebody moves. And I get my whatever parking spot, and people always say they call it princess parking or preferential parking. They're like, Mia, I don't know how you always get I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how packed out it is, whatever you want me to go someplace with you, you'll enjoy it because wherever we go, they'll say it's going to be a 20-minute wait. And I always say, oh, that's so cute. That's adorable. Didn't you know that the King of Glory has just come in? The King of Glory is with me. We're not waiting for anything. We get there and people slide out of the way. That's the expectation, but that's my level of faith, right? That's what I expect. I come to expect those things. And if people don't slide out of the way, then I don't say, well, the Lord didn't show up. I say, oh, you want me to wait for something? Let me start looking around and see what I'm looking for. Because then I know he's trying to show me something else. The Lord is always speaking. He's never silent. Always
So
speaking.
everything becomes an invitation to go
It's an
back to the
invitation.
Lord, right? And which I'm
Always.
finding is the cadence of life. Like if there's, like why are we here? If I just ask the question like on a base level, like, why did you even create all this? Like why is all this?
Yes.
And it's so hard and it's confusing and like why? And the clearest I can hear is I exist to be with him. I
Yes.
exist to be with him. And that means anything that happens to me is just an invitation to bring it to him, right? And so for me, what that looks like, because it's interesting, like hearing you talk, like what the way you describe it, it sounds like relationship.
It
It
is.
sounds like you have a unique relationship with
I
your
do.
father.
Yes,
That's
I do.
between you and him,
Yes.
right? And he loves you and you love him. And with you, it's like, oh, and my daddy gets me parking spots. Like,
Yep.
that's
And he
part.
does.
That's the, and if I look at that and be like, okay, man, let me go and do that. Let me go do it exactly like Mia does it, and get. That's your relationship. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
that's right.
Like that's
That's right.
that's not the blueprint for my relationship.
No, it's not.
There is something I can learn, which is the
Yes.
intimacy. It's the
Yes.
intimacy. Like I talk to God like he's my dad and I'm a brat. That's
Yes.
how I
I
talk to
do.
God,
I
right?
do. Yes.
Like I talk to God like the picture for me is when I'm holding my son. I used to hold my son. My son's, when my son was 2 years old, he's 12 now. But when he was two, no matter where I was sitting, he would just come into my lap like he owned
Ah,
my lap. He would just
yes.
jump into my lap,
That's right.
right? And he would nestle in, snuggle in,
That's
put
right.
his 2 fingers in his mouth and just
That's
stare
right.
up into my eyes. He would just
That's
stare
right.
into my with his huge brown eyes. He would just stare into my eyes,
That's right.
and we would just sit there like that, And they'd be like, oh, there's Jaden again in Daddy's lap,
Lovely.
just
Oh,
staring up into my lap or staring up into my eyes, and I just felt as I would just felt this like there's nothing I would not do for this kid.
that's exactly
Just
right.
wants to be with me. That's
That's right.
it. He don't want
Come
nothing
on now.
from me.
You better preach.
Just wants to be with
Be
me
with me.
and look at my face because he knows this face loves him. He just
Yes.
is sitting there like sunbathing in my
Yes.
love.
That's right. That's
And so
right.
that's the image, like when I come to the Father, right? I'm like,
Yes.
I'm Jaden, right?
Yes.
Because I get it. Like, I'm like, dang, I love that kid so much. There's nothing I wouldn't give that kid.
That's right.
Like, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You're a better father. You're
That's
a
right.
better father. You love me
He's a
more
good,
than
good
I love
father.
this kid. So I'm like, so it
Yes.
does make me bold, right? It makes me bold to sit there, like, and so for me, it's those moments, those special moments are just me and the Father, just quiet.
Yes.
I'm just staring, I'm just looking up at him, like, dang, I can't believe you love me this much. This is
I
dope.
can't
I
believe
get
it.
to hang out here, and I get to sit here as long as I want to sit here. You ain't
And
telling me
it's
to
not
leave either.
contingent, right? It's not
Yeah,
contingent upon anything. That's the thing that I needed to learn also. It's not contingent. It wasn't a this is not a contingent relationship. This relationship is not because of who I am, but because of who he is.
that's right.
Right. And it's because
That's
he
right.
called me to be his own. He
That's right.
called me, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes, when I'm upset, I'm like, you called me here. Like, you called me here. And I'm like, all right, now what are we doing here? What's happening? So, I sometimes I get a little upset. And I always say, I am very bratty. I am very bratty. And, I just say to the Lord, I'm like, Lord, I can't believe that I have to go through this road here. Oh, I guess I'll get ready to do it. Like I'm just so bratty about it. But and
Yeah.
then he,
Yeah.
and he encourages me, and I can hear him sometimes laughing at me, like, "Go get that work done. Stop being silly." And then sometimes it's serious time, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
"Obey, do what I'm asking you to do," right? Because
Yeah.
he is the Father. He is. I do
Yeah.
have a reverential awe for him. I do not
Yeah.
cross. But there's a line that I won't cross because I understand that I am dealing with a sovereign God.
Yes.
I'm dealing with the
Yes.
one that created the heavens and the earth.
Yes.
But he's still my Abba Father.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I come, kind of like, I guess, like, what do they call, like a rich kid, like with the rich brats, like, like, or not brat, like, I don't want to say brats because not all rich
Yeah.
kids are brats,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying, like, I come like that, like, well, my father owns everything in here, so I can just get whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I'm also responsible with that because there's a responsibility that comes with that type of relationship. I live under an open heaven. This is true. So that when my words go to heaven, he can hear me. So that means
Yes.
that I need to be responsible with my words and my actions and with my resources.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
I don't, so yeah, because I know the Lord hears me, and I know that he answers prayer, then I'm not going to be fickle or frivolous with the words that I speak to him. There's a responsibility that comes
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Well, now let's even go into calling a little bit. So you like we started with the one thing that you want people to know about you, which is this calling to help people prosper, right? So that's your felt calling. You like part of why you're here. So can you tell us a little bit about how you execute that calling in the world to help people
Absolutely.
prosper?
Absolutely. So, in times past, it was done. Well, actually, right now I'm doing marketplace ministry. What I work in is the housing. I work in the housing sector, right? I work in multifamily, and and consistently and on a daily basis helping out people with what their housing needs, right? What do they need for housing? How can they keep their housing? How can they what ways are they going to succeed? And sometimes the answer to that is not always a happy story, right? Sometimes it's, I'm sorry, you put yourself in a really bad situation and you need to get out of here. Let me help you find some place where you can actually thrive. This is not going to be it. So that sometimes that's the conversation. But the truth makes us free, right? And sometimes the conversation is, hey, I need you to gather these resources. I know these four people that can help you, that can help you get out of this situation. But after you get out of its immediate need, here are some things you can do so that you never find yourself back in this place again. And so that's primarily, that's my daily, that's something I'm doing on a daily basis.
Yes.
But there
And
are
that's
other
tenant.
things.
That's tenants. You're actually dealing
That's
with
just it. My tenants,
tenants.
and
Okay.
I don't work directly with tenants anymore. Like before, I used to be a community manager, and I worked with I used to be that used to be my job where I worked directly with the tenants. But now I'm a couple of steps above that, but I still find myself reaching out in that way. I still will find myself reaching out in that way, making sure that my managers are also educated in that way and that they take on the same mission, right? Because the idea is to multiply yourself. So before it was just me out here trying to help individuals, but now I have a team of people that I've trained to also have that same mind. And the thing of it is that I don't go around telling them this is the mind of Christ. I demonstrate it, and they follow me as I follow Christ, right?
Mm. Say that one more
So,
time. Say that one
so
more
yes,
time.
so
Because
that's right.
again, we're talking to people that are off. A lot of people that are looking at this are in the workplace.
That's right.
We're trying to
So,
understand how do we follow Jesus in the workplace
that's
and in,
right.
in environments where we can't necessarily just go and preach a sermon to somebody.
You
So
cannot
go ahead.
always. And so a
Yeah.
lot of people don't, a lot of the people that I work with, they have an inkling that I belong to the Lord. And I know that they do that because they don't cuss around me and they
Yeah.
avoid certain things around me.
Yeah.
So I know that they understand, but never have I ever said to them, I'm Pastor so and so, da da da. Instead, my actions, what I do is I live a way and I manage my people with such a standard. No matter what the policy is XYZ, whatever it is, but Jesus, it's Jesus Christ that I serve. So the government is upon his shoulder. So I live my life in a way that I'm always in kingdom business,
Yeah.
right? So I'm living my life in a kingdom way.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that when I train my managers to follow me, and they gladly do it because I treat them well. I'm honorable to them. I'm direct. I'm honest with them. I let them know I deal with them the way that Christ deals with me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's why that I also raised my children. I raised my children. The Lord said, I was a single parent. I was a single parent. The Lord said, I will be their father. So I always raised my children in that way where the Lord is their father. And I deal with the Lord's people in that way. They are his treasure. And so I deal with them in that way. Now, there are some rules to this that I think that the saints really ought to know. And so the kingdom of darkness is not like the kingdom of light. So I don't give pearls to swine. Like, I don't want to confuse that. I don't give people things that are meant for kingdom people. So if you don't demonstrate the fruit of the kingdom, I'm not going to give you the pearls of the kingdom. I will give you enough wisdom, though, so that you can follow me as I follow Christ. And what does that look like? I'll give you an example. So if I was talking to a saint and they were going through a hard time, then I would, of course, I would pray for them right there because, again, I
Yeah.
live under an open heaven. So I
Yeah.
would pray for them right there, and I would pray for deliverance, and I would give them more intense instruction on how they can come out of their situation and bring deliverance to their household. I would really take them by the hand and walk them through it. I can't do that with someone who doesn't know Jesus Christ. So instead, I just give them a nugget of wisdom that would give them some peace and still point them towards Christ, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't take all the extra time. I don't give them the additional time that I would give somebody who was already a believer, because I believe that that time that I'm giving, that right there is the pearl, right? Because I know that the Lord told me, this is something else the Lord told me when I was young. He said, you are the house of deliverance. Wherever you go, deliverance will follow. So wherever I go, I know I'm pulling people out of these situations, pulling them out of fiery buildings or getting them out of horrible situations. And if they follow the instruction the Lord gave me to give them, then they're going to come out and they're going to succeed. So I don't spend a lot of time with people who have not done the first thing, which is give the Lord their life. You see, I give them a nugget of wisdom and I keep it moving.
Right.
But it's still enough for them to want to follow me as I follow Christ.
And again, like, and what's important to know is, like, that's your, what
That's
was it?
my wheelhouse.
Your assignment.
That's right. It's
your
my assignment.
assignment.
That's my assignment.
Right?
My
There
assignment.
are other people with different assignments.
Way different.
That-
Way different. And
Right.
I appreciate those people.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing your job because I got to do
Yeah.
mine over here.
Yep.
That's
Right.
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 That's right.
And I say that just because, like, it's so easy. Like, even when I'm listening to a speaker, it's so easy for me to be like, oh, okay, I need to apply that. I need to do exactly exactly the way that they do it is now the way I need to do it. I'm prone to that, right? Because I can be impressionable.
Right.
And honestly, like one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn coming out from that mindset is, oh wait, God uniquely made me for a purpose, and He knows what He's doing with me, and it doesn't look anything like what He's doing with that person over there.
He called you, the individual.
And that's what makes it beautiful. But that's what makes it beautiful, because you got people in the kingdom all over the place doing
That's
all
right.
kinds of crazy things in the
That's
kingdom,
right.
and places I would never go,
That's right.
And I can go places that they would never
You
go.
wouldn't go. That's exactly right.
And
That's exactly right.
But it's the same, right? Wherever I set my foot, Jesus is there. Like
That's exactly right.
that's His, right? Like where
That's
I set my
right.
foot, that's His land.
That's right.
So
And a story that kind of coincides with that is that in the Bible, there's a story about the disciples, and they're like, "Lord, look at those people over there. They're praying, they're prophesying in your name, and they're healing in your name." And the disciples were kind of complaining about
we're
it.
offended.
They were like,
We don't know them.
"Wait,
We don't know them.
They're not the same people as us. Like, why are they doing?
They're not a part of the crew. They're not in the crew. Like
That's right.
what's going on?
They don't look like us and doing what we're doing. I mean, like, it doesn't look the same. And just like Jesus, he rebuked and corrected them and just said, we're all doing the same work here. Let every man do his own work. Let every man work according to his own faith. Do it according to the measure of your own faith, right? This thing is a relationship.
It's a relationship.
And even siblings don't have the same relationship with their parents, right?
That's right.
Everybody
It would be
has
sad
a
if we
different
did. It would be a
relationship.
tragedy.
That's right. It's different. You're always going to get a different version of that parent because they're at different places according to what's going on in your life. And so that's the same thing. Like, and to me, it's beautiful though. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love to hear what other people are doing, the great works that He is doing from their perspective. Because He's a multifaceted, just wonderful God.
Wonderful. Now, as we're coming to the end of our time, so I really want to spend a little bit of time here. So I've got a good sense of your calling and how you're executing your calling in the workplace. I know you're executing the calling, in your church. What's your dream? What does your dream look like as far as you can see it?
Yeah, I have a wonderful dream. So my dream is, in my perfect vision, I would love to own a large piece of land where I would plant fruit trees and bring people in that are, homeless or having struggles with their home issue. I want to, and I don't want to necessarily just provide it for free. There's a program that I want to put together. My program that is more like of a work kind of a program where you work to be on the land, right? But I want to bring families in, and I want to be able to feed people and to give them shelter, and I want to help them get back on their feet, especially in this time when things are just really, really hard for people. So that's what I'm working towards. I have a group of ladies that I have a group of ladies that we work together. I work together with. We're the Women of Purpose. So we meet once a month, and we basically try to we work with each other's passions, whichever passion we have passion projects, each of us, and we gather funds together and or do some kind of fundraiser and work toward those projects. And the project that I always want to work towards is buying land. I just want to buy land and put people on it.
Yeah.
And have and manage and help have stewards manage the land. That's one of my many dreams, but that's the one that I feel is closest to me, the closest,
Yes.
the closest thing I'm closest to accomplishing right now.
Describe it to me. Like, what does it look like in your mind and in your
So
heart
in
when you
my
think about it?
mind, I have it all worked out, right? So in my mind, I would this piece of land, I want it far enough away from the city where it people would have to be bused to this location. They would be bused to the location, and I already have like cultivating apple trees and fig trees and or fig bushes or fig trees and plum things of that nature that will thrive here in this desert.
Yeah.
So apples and oranges and all those types of things, peaches, um, things like that. And then I would have those families come in. I have those tiny homes. I have a friend that puts together tiny homes. We would build a couple tiny homes, have them situated in their homes, assign them homes, and then assign them duties according to
Yeah.
their family sizes, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, then we would come and cook together. We would eat off the good of the land, right? So
Yeah.
almost like a farm or a homestead style. Where we come and we have people who are working on with the bees and we training people how to do these things, how to make bread and how to do
Yeah.
all these things so that we're a sustainable network of people. And I want to
Yeah.
do that in like small networks of 5 to 10 families on each patch of land,
Yeah.
and where I teach them how to kind of thrive and be on their own and do well
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the idea, is to come in and have other experts to come and teach different aspects of living on the land, and
Yep.
then do it again, and then do it again,
Wow.
and keep doing
Wow.
that. Because I just feel like that's the time that we need to kind of take control again of our destinies.
Well, what a beautiful manifestation of a calling to help people prosper, which is the first thing you said,
Yes.
when I started asking you about this stuff was helping people prosper. It's a beautiful picture. What's the next step or the next door? Is there a particular door you're waiting to? My dog is talking to me.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Is there a particular next door that you're waiting to be opened, or you would like to see opened?
So part of that, yeah. So part of the vision is to work in what I actually already do, which is I work in investments. So I am calling investors, male, female, whomever, who are passionate about this program, because again, this is not charity work, traditional charity work, right? This is something that we're looking to get some profit off of. And so, yeah, I'm calling people who are looking to be investors, to gather them
Yep.
together, to
Yep.
put together investment groups, teaching them how to put trusts together for their own individual families, and then, being able to kind of, not kind of, but be able to invest in this land and gain profit from it. So I'm gathering
Wow.
people,
Wow.
and so we're hoping to do our very first purchase in 2026, 2026. First
Wow.
quarter of 2026. Right now, I have 5 individuals gathered. We're hoping for a group of 10 or more so that it makes the burden easier, because it is going to be our first venture together. But,
Yeah.
almost like crowdfunding,
Yeah.
but, and then kind of adding additional projects onto that. So that's the vision, and that's the hope.
Wow. That's so clear. I love it. So you've actually really thought about this.
I really,
Um,
really have. I've been thinking about it since I was actually, I had a vision of it when I was 21. Actually, I was 21 years old, sitting at a table. I was taking care of an elderly lady, and I had an open vision of this beautiful place. And I drew it, and I'm not a good
Yeah.
drawer, but I
Yeah.
drew it out, and then I kind of put it aside, and the Lord reminded me of it, often throughout the years. But as my children are old enough now to be out of the house, and my daughter's a senior this year, she's the last of the elk, then the Lord put it back in my heart again, and this season is now for me to be able to take this energy that I've been, using to raise up my children. Now I can put my energy into this vision the Lord gave me
Man,
20
that's so
something years ago.
so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I know these are like tender things, but also I can see you light up when you talk about this
Absolutely.
because, yeah, it occupies that kind of deep space in your
Yeah,
heart. So, Mia, thank you.
absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for giving me the space to be able to share these things and to have those wonderful memories, right? Sometimes just going down memory lane and remember the things the Lord has done, it reignites a special place in you and like gives you the fire to do it all over again and to get back on the train if you're off of it, right? Or to get refocused. So
Yeah.
thank you for this
And just the
space.
power. You're welcome. It's the power of story. Like that's so much like what I'm doing here is just drawing out the stories of people because they're just like everything you talk. It's so amazing. But a person just walking by you casually or shaking hands with you at work wouldn't know all these things. Wouldn't know how deep it all goes, and all the beauty that's beneath the surface, right?
So
So appreciate you. And then anybody who was with us up to this point, thank you for joining us for another episode, and we will see you next time.
thank you.
Take it easy.